Okay, I would like to call the December 21, 2020 meeting of the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Coatesville to order, please. First thing we have are the minutes, and I believe our solicitor had a modification he wanted to make to those. Is that correct, Lou?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think for housekeeping purposes, we should probably announce that immediately before this public meeting, we had an executive session of the RDA to discuss attorney-client privilege matters, real estate matters, and potential litigation.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry about that. I forgot that, Lou.
And relative to the November 16, 2020 minutes under new business B, that should reflect consider issuance of demand letter to Coatesville Inn and Coatesville office, and not letter of default. The notice of default is what the RDA board would be asked to act upon tonight.
Okay, could I get a motion to approve the minutes with that modification?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Joe. Could I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We have some accounts payable, which Ruth Ann has prepared for us. Questions on the payables?
Yeah, hold on. I got a question.
Yes, sir, Ricky.
We wrote a check 1521 BBD LLP for $550 on the 14th. What was that for?
That is part of the fee that we paid our accountant for preparing a payoff letter for downtown revival.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's a perfect example of something we should take off our check when we received a downtown revival check. We should get reimbursed for that $550.
All right. Yeah, it wasn't in notation, so I agree. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that as well.
And I'm Ricky, I'm really bad with names. I don't know how many times we're back and forth with letters.
Carl.
And you know, he had time in it, and he says, I don't mind doing it, but I should get paid something for my time. So I should submit an invoice and we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Carl Hogan was his name.
Carl who? Yep.
Oh, that's him. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept accounts payable with any necessary corrections or revisions.
Thank you, Ricky. Could I get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Tyrone. All those in favor of approving the accounts payable?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, gentlemen. We do have two additions to our agenda this evening. Under new business, we have letter D as in David, and that is to appoint Jack Burkholder as our liaison between Second Century Alliance and the Redevelopment Authority. Other issue we have would be letter E as in Edward, and that is to issue the actual default notice to Coatesville Inn and Coatesville Office Associates, since they have not paid the tax on the properties up there. They're in violation of the redevelopment agreement. So that would be letter E as Edward. Ruth Ann, we don't have any presentations this evening?
No.
Thank you. Citizens' comments on agenda items?
Nothing in the chat.
Thank you. So we're on to new business. Letter A is an apple. Receive and accept the 2020 dam inspection report prepared by Cedarville Engineering and the supplemental responses. We had discussed that earlier, and that report is due. So I would make a motion to receive that report.
I'll second that motion, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, letter B is in boy. Receive and consider proposal 2021 to 2022 Mancini and Comodal PLLC retainer for the city of Coatesville. That's our solicitor's contract.
I make a
Question?
motion to accept it.
Thank you, Tyrone. Did I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jack. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
C is in Charlie, is to consider the public meeting dates, which Ruth Ann has put in our packet. Remember the January and February dates are moved to Tuesday because of the holidays. So we are January 19th of 2021, February 16, March 15, April 19, May 17, June 21, July 19, August 16, September 20, October 18, November 15th, and December 20th. They would be our normally scheduled public meetings for each month in 2021. Questions, comments, or a motion?
I make a motion to accept the future dates in 2021 for all RDA meetings, public.
Thank you, Ricky. Can I get a second?
I'll second it, Joe.
Thank you, Tyrone. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, letter D is in David, is to consider having Jack be our liaison, Jack Burkholder be our liaison with the Second Century Alliance. I would make a motion to approve Jack for that position.
I'll second that, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank
All
you,
those
Jack.
in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain.
Thank you, Jack. Just don't miss any meetings.
I'll be in Florida with you.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, for the January meeting, I will be in Florida, but if we're doing it by Zoom, that's one of the beauties of this
Yeah, that's
thing.
right. Yeah, you can't get out of it.
You know, if you take the laptop with you, you can do it.
Yeah.
Letter E is in Edward, is the notice of default for Coatesville Inn Associates, that's the Marriott, and Coatesville Office Associates, the adjacent parcel to the Marriott, which was supposed to have an office building built on it. We've been notified by Berkheimer that those taxes were not paid, and our solicitors recommended that we authorize a notice of default. Questions, a motion?
Additionally, the terms of the redevelopment agreement provide that the redeveloper is supposed to have commenced the construction of whichever parcel was not initially developed. The hotel was open for its grand opening in 2012, and the redevelopers had 5 years from that date in which to start the construction of the other, in this case, the office building parcel, or the office building project adjacent. And since that, to my knowledge, was not commenced within the 5-year time period, that's a default. Additionally, from the failure to pay the taxes that were due with the TIF installment payment on December 1st is another default. And you'll recall that the RDA board authorized a letter to the redeveloper for the obligations that were committed to by the redeveloper when the RDA granted the easement in the recorded in the Chester County Recorder of Deeds. That demand was for adequate assurances in the form of an estoppel certificate that they were going to continue to maintain the property, pay the taxes, and fulfill all the other obligations in the easement agreement. And the only response from the redevelopers general counsel was submitting an updated RDA insurance certificate naming the RDA as additional insured. So while that updated insurance certificate was greatly appreciated, it was basically barely the tip of the iceberg in terms of what the redeveloper was obligated to do and did not do.
So
for
do
all
we have
those reasons-
multiple defaults that should be in this letter?
Yes.
I would make a motion to authorize the letter to both LLCs or organizations, the inn and office, for the series of defaults which Mr. Coatesville just described to us.
I would second that motion.
Thank you, Tyrone. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. Do we have any citizens' comments out there?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to say one thing. For all the things that are floating around on Facebook and the decisions that the RDA have made on the flats, and I cannot believe that we don't have not one person who's made all those comments on Facebook on our meeting tonight. That's unbelievable. And I know this is being recorded. That's the reason why I'm saying it.
And Tyrone, that's one of the beauties of recording these things. Look, I can go out and say whatever I want in the community. All you got to do is look at the recording and tell if it's true or not. This is what actually went on. Here's the recording. And again, just as Tyrone said, to have it on the recording, it's our intention to continue negotiations on the redevelopment agreement. We are having a meeting with the developer later this week to try and iron out some details, and we will continue to do so until we're satisfied that we have a redevelopment agreement that we feel is appropriate. Our next meeting is January 19th. Again, remember that's a Tuesday, not a Monday because of the holiday. I would like to wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you tomorrow evening, I guess.
Some of us.
Yeah.
Tyrone, could I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Thank you. I mean, I think that's the quickest one ever, but, and again, I was really encouraged when we initially started back in March with these Zoom meetings, because, we had 50 people on and so forth. And I said, boy, that's great that the community has the opportunity to participate in the meeting, to get the information right from the horse's mouth.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's dwindled off some, but Sonny has told me in conversations that, hey, X number of people looked at the meeting on YouTube or whatever. So I think there are some that may be working, may have other obligations that, like this evening during this meeting, that will look at it later. And I'm hopeful that does happen.
I am also.
Yeah.
I mean, any of the council members are welcome to look at it whenever they want. It's all recorded.
So with that motion being on the floor, I second it.
Thank you. We'll see everyone tomorrow evening. Thanks again.
All right. See you.
Take care and have a good evening.
Yeah.
Good
Thanks.
night.
Have a good evening.